Howdy. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Magic Square, Lord of War. And, you know, the more I look at him, the more I think he kinda looks like Bruticus from Transformers Generation 1. But that's probably just a coincidence. In his combined mode, Lord of War is awesome. I love how this figure feels. It is way lighter than many other combiners in this space, and it makes it feel like a toy. And that really makes it enjoyable to play with. The articulation is reasonably good. We'll get into that a little bit later. One thing that is a little disappointing is the fact that the head does have a hollow slot in the center for you to purchase your own LED chip. It does not come with an LED chip though, so I won't be going out of my way to buy one. And because of that, the eyes do look a little bit dead. But otherwise, this figure combines relatively well. Again, the articulation is great, and it just feels really nice. I'm glad that they were able to finish this set. It looks awesome. All of the individual figures are great, and the combined mode is arguably even better. And as far as the back looks, I mean, it's nothing to write home about. You know, it's nice that they put little plates on the backs of the shins to, you know, make them look nicer, but the backs of the thighs are completely smooth except for the buttons. The butt plates are also totally smooth, and the back is basically just Night Tracer folded up into a ball. As far as the articulation for the head goes, I think it's some kind of dumbbell attached to this swiveling joint at the neck so it can look up reasonably far, but not actually all that far down. The shoulders, despite the fact that, you know, they're ratcheted all the way up, can't get quite to 90 degrees out, but it can go all the way around. The bicep can go all the way around. The elbow can bend to a little over 90 degrees. Not that much over 90 degrees, though. The hand can swivel 100 or 360 degrees all the way around. It can fold upward to get this kind of palm facing out motion. Every finger is individually articulated at every knuckle, with every one at a ball joint at the base. And the thumb is actually kind of intuitive, surprisingly intuitive compared to other combiners. But I think the hand is pretty effective, and all of these joints are really well tolerated, so it's easy to mess around with the fingers. Now, for the worst part of this figure, the ab crunch. It's got a joint at the base, at the back of the hips, and a ratcheted joint at the front. And as you can see, I'm really struggling with this ratchet joint because it is probably the tightest ratchet joint I've ever had to manipulate. The joint at the back is not even ratcheted. So this is incredibly frustrating. Also, the way that Onslaught, Freudian slip, plugs into the torso, there's one single peg in the hips of Onslaught that bear all of this force, and I don't know how long it can stand to hold that force. The hips are a little bit better. They're not as good. The back and side flaps are a little bit flappy, but the way that Magic Square does the rest of their hip joints, it's one of these drop-down joints, so you can get it relatively far. I'm sorry it's off camera, but I promise you, you can get a pretty high range of motion out of it. And there's a second joint right at the drop-down hip as well. It can get really far out to the side, and it holds it on a ratchet. There's also a ratcheted thigh swivel, which is kind of intriguing. And like I said, these side panels and the back panels, they're a little flappy. I know you can't see that in this video, but I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. They're literally just cover down panels. Anyways, as far as the knees go, they can go to about 90 degrees, but on the back of the thighs, they have this button that you can press. And if you depress that button and pull down on the thigh or the leg at the same time, you get access to a second joint. And if you use both of those, you can get basically the full range, which is incredible, and an incredible shame considering you probably won't ever get that far. Yeah, also, Swindle, Freudian slip, doesn't really hold on all that well. So, well, he holds on well enough. It's just when you're trying to get that joint back into position, you basically just have to shove it into a flat surface, and then you can get the leg joint back into place. And finally, for the feet, we've had these for a while, but they can basically bend all the way over, and the toes are kind of on this double ratcheting system, which isn't the most stable thing in the world, but these ratchets are really aggressive, so you should be able to get some good poses. Here's how Magic Square Lord of War scales with Deluxe Class Deep Cover, Voyager Class Sweep, and Leader Class Grimlock. Here's how Magic Square Lord of War scales with Fans Toys Variator, Takaratomi Masterpiece Hound, Fantastic Model Warhorse, Magic Square Light of Peace, X-Transbots Commander Stack, and Takaratomi Masterpiece Jetfire. Here's how Magic Square Lord of War scales with Takaratomi Masterpiece Megatron, Masterpiece Shockwave, and Masterpiece Starscream. And finally, probably the moment you've all been waiting for, here's how Magic Square Lord of War scales with Fans Toys Etherion and Fans Toys Marauder. I hope you've enjoyed this brief look at Magic Square Lord of War. I got all 5 of this set from Magic Square directly at magicsquaretoys.com. If there are any other figures you'd like me to take a look at next, leave a comment down below. And as always, I'm Leo, reminding you that plastic toys don't belong in plastic prisons. See you next time. And as far as the articulation on... Holy cow, the articulation on the back, wow, that's not right at all.